Good day all, it is 3:11, 11 minutes past 3 on the afternoon of the 29th of the 11th, 2024. So they tell us. We've only got their word to take for it, unless we think for ourselves. Anyway, this is the Self-Preservation Society, or on my main Bitchute channel, Odyssey and Brighteon. It is Truth and Awareness on YouTube and Rumble. I am the BBTT, Basil Broadcasting Tooth and Therapy. Here I am using the talking stick. And the title of this upload is, Isn't That Nice of Them? I've just seen on AOL news that Iceland and Germany, or was it Sweden and Germany? Hold on a sec. Let me have a look. I think it might have been Sweden and Germany, thinking about it. See if it's still there. Sometimes these things don't last on AOL for long. Germany and the Nordic countries prepare citizens for possible war. Now, isn't that nice of them? You know, they're offering an app where the nearest bunkers are. The nearest bunkers are. Right? All joking aside, think of that for a minute. My nan, my mother's mother, during the Second World War, used to have to take the two twins, me mum and her sister, up Military Hill, South Military Hill and Dover, and into the caves there. The people of the Cappadocia region, thousands of years ago, done the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun, people. Jordan Maxwell. Nothing new under the sun. But isn't that nice of them to prepare you? Like God did with Noah. He told Noah to build an ark. And Noah took all the animals. Was it the Bachelors that done that song? The animals came in 2 by 2. All right. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was the Bachelors. I might be wrong. Somebody will put me right. They generally do. Oh dear. But anyway. And so he took all these animals on, and he took his kids on. And their wives. And they ended up, when the waters was, went back after the flood, that lot repopulated the earth again. It tells you so in the Bible, so it must be right. Just like, Adam and Eve. They only had sons, and they populated the earth. And people believe that shit. They still believe that. So the boys were shagging their mother, and she was just churning out kid after kid for God knows how many years. But that shows you how, and I'll make no apologies for this, how fucked up this world is, and how fucked up those that believe everything they're told are. But isn't that nice of the German and the Nordic governments to prepare their citizens for war? What about preparing us for peace, where we can live on this earth in peace with our fellow man? But no, we can't do that. It's got to be human beings fighting against each other. You know, black, white, yellow, red, gay, straight, this, that, and that. On whatever level, as long as we're fighting each other, we're good slaves. We're good human beings. As long as we're hating somebody else, we're good human beings. And that's what we are. Not me. Not me. I'm making sense, trying to understand, trying to comprehend what it is in the physical to be a man, and trying to comprehend that which I truly am, and not the physical manifestation of the spiritual self, but the true self, the source consciousness on this soul journey, having this spiritual experience in a carbon-based unit, body, avatar, in the third dimension on planet Earth. And I often add to that, anything else is either what I do while I'm here, ego, or how others perceive me. And, you know, they're going to perceive me, by the time I finish this upload, there's going to be a lot of people perceiving me as a fucking arsehole, a narcissist, this, that and the other. Because all throughout this broadcast I'm going to be talking about, isn't that nice of them? Isn't that nice of them? You know, your governments tell you live in a democracy. I didn't sign that petition about calling for a new general election, but it was taken down. So I'm led to believe. Apparently a new one has been put up, so I'm led to believe. But I've said to you before, and I'll keep saying it. You go into their courts, you're appealing to them, you're pleading with them. Go on to a demonstration, you're appealing to them. Sign a petition, you're begging them, and use their money, you're in debt to them. So I don't do any of that. That's for human beings to do. Those that say, please sir, can I have some more? You know, I'm looking for vestiges of mankind. I never said this at the start of my channel. There's a lot of things at the start of my channel that differ from what I'm saying now. But that's because it's 4 or 5 years since I started this Bitchute channel. And incidentally, that's where all my work is. If you look in the description box below, wherever you are, other than that main Bitchute channel, you'll find a link to it and all my work there. Do what a few other people have done. They've listened to everything. Daryl and Shelley and a few others. They've listened to everything. And so they've become aware of how my awareness has grown. Is what I share here. I don't claim to be right. I don't claim to be right about anything. I say to you, believe nothing, discount nothing, and remember everything. I know the truth is right. And, you know, I look for the lies. And when you find the lies, and you can see that they are lies, the only thing left is truth. And truth doesn't change at all. The truth has never ever changed to accommodate me. I've changed to accommodate the truth. And I haven't said this for a while, but I'll say it to you again. 40 years ago I started this journey. 40 years ago this year, this July, with the passing of my maternal grandfather, which set me off on this journey. That I thought for many, many years, being spiritually aware, being aware that life is continuous, it doesn't end, it just transmutes, this, that, and that, there is no death, you can't die for the life of you. I thought being spiritually aware would provide me with all the answers that I would ever need. It doesn't. It doesn't, because the spiritual aspect of self, whether it's here in the physical or the non-physical, is in the same fucking boat. The only difference is when you pass away, you haven't got that body. What you need to do, and what I've come to do, is I stumbled upon this journey of truth, what's known as truth and conscious awareness, awakening, this, that, and the other. How traumatized I was when my eyes started to see the truth. Where before that, I, with all good intention, was trying to lead a life founded on these spiritual values and awarenesses that I'd come to know from walking into, having my first reading with Christine Quenker just a month or two over 40 years ago. And then in the November of that year, 1984, walking into my first spiritualist church and being met by the medium called Roger Willicombe, and a beautiful, beautiful soul, sitting right at the back near the door, thinking, if I don't like what's happening here, I'll fuck it out of here. You know, how green and naive was I then, and possibly still so today. But I recognise it. And I seek to try to change that. I've certainly sought to change the ignorance that has dominated my ego self over these years. And I seek to share that, to empower, enlighten and enable another in this my channel. On that journey, people, as I've said before, and I'll say it again because I said to Shelley this morning, this question keeps coming up to me and I know I've got to confront it, all guns blazing, and I'm going to in this upload, because it's important to me. And if you only but knew it, it's important to the rest of you. I owe much to spiritualism, what they call modern day spiritualism, which started in 1848 in Hydesville, New York, with the Fox sisters. But of course, that was just, as I look back, the commercialisation of spirit, if you will. And bear with me on this, I'll try and make it clear. Because prior to the Fox sisters being credited with, and their father being credited with the founding of modern day spiritualism, on those lands there was people like the Uwippi man of the Lakota and other such people with gifts that were respected, revered and honoured for their knowledge, wisdom and awareness, and their gifts outside the five senses. So, you know, what happened in 1848, looking back upon it, yes, it gained the spiritual self in the Western world especially, gained some credence, some credibility, and people were investigating it. This and men of their day. I listened to the Y Files today on Facebook. It was an old broadcast from 2021. Excuse me, where he's talking about Edison and Tesla seeking to develop individually something, communicate with the spirit world. And I just wrote on this 3-year-old post, Oliver Lodge and Sir William Crookes predated them. Sir Oliver Lodge, I'm sure it's Sir Oliver Lodge, it might have been William Crookes, but he he developed a thing called the spirit tube, which John Logie Baird, 30 years later, used as one of the components in the television. That spirit tube. And what a spirit. You know, when people say they're spiritual, demons are spiritual too. Demons are spiritual too. Demons are not conscious in the same way that you, the true self, are. The Lucifer within you is conscious, the light and the way. That's what Lucifer means, the light and the way. And, you know, for those of you that say Lucifer is Satan, when Jesus, this figure called Jesus, we're told, was tempted in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was tempted by Satan, because Satan knew he was Lucifer. So Satan tried to tempt him. And Jesus said, I am the light, I am the way. You know, and as I do, you can do also in far greater things. He wrote in John, I tell you, John 34, I think it was, I tell thee, ye are all gods, right? And, you know, so few people take this on board and try to do something about it. And if they do, they only go so far, because then they become aware of the material and financial benefits of those awarenesses and gifts outside the five senses. Well, you people are going to reap what you sow, whether, you know, whoever you are. If you claim to be all-seeing, all-knowing, all holier than thou, whether you'll be a medium or a truther or this, that and the other, psychic, whatever, and you're using that to profit physically, mentally, emotionally, materially, financially from another, you're going to reap what you sow. You're going to reap what you sow. And you can change. You can change if you want to. I haven't had to change on that level, because I've never used those abilities outside the five senses to personally profit or gain from another. I see them as gifts, so I gift them to people, spiritual gifts, but I've gone beyond that. I still have those awarenesses, those gifts, those abilities, but I've gone deep within by doing the shadow work, confronting my own personal demons, not to mention those outside of me, and sitting here to tell you the story. And I continue to do so. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's time to talk with you again. I have no fear about doing that. A lot of people do. Not just a lot, the majority of people do. They won't confront their own darkness, their own demons. They'll look outside themselves for somebody to do it for them and give them absolution. They can't do that. They can, you know, these mediums can stand on a platform or on a one-to-one and say, oh, got your nan here, this, that, and then, and they can tell you some wonderful truths about things you've been through, experienced, this, that, and the other, or your parents, the communicators have been through and experienced some wonderful truths. But you know me, and I'll keep sending this challenge out. A medium out there like me today, and I use the term, I identify as a medium just in the context of this argument, and a medium is simply a point between 2 points. You tell me a medium out there today that stands there as an ambassador for spirit and teaches you, shares knowledge, can't teach you, they can share knowledge to empower, enlighten and enable you to come to an understanding of what it is to live, like I do. I feel so isolated in and I don't associate much with the spiritual community, and the spiritualists, this, that, and the psychics and all those others. I don't associate much with them because there's very few I've found in the 40 years, certainly in the last 8 or 9 years since I've come back into spiritualism, that are actually on the same page as me. And I know who they are, those I've come across. It's the same with the truth movement. Tony Sayers just done a brilliant presentation, I see on Odyssey. Go and have a look at that. And, if you do and then come to the wrong conclusions, thinking he's judging the people he's talking about, he may well be. But he's right to do so if he's speaking the truth. And it's the same with me. I don't care if you think I'm judging you. If the cap fits, fucking wear it. Wear it. I care about those that will be deceived if I don't speak the truth at my point of awareness and knowing. I don't care who I offend. I care about those that will be deceived. Care. That 4-letter word that Mark Passio gave us at the end of the Philadelphia presentation in 2014, I think it was, after he spoke for nearly 9 hours about natural law. He broke it down, brought those 9 hours down to one word, and it wasn't love, it was care. You can't love until you know what it is to care. Think about that. But on this journey, especially when I've started to transcend from the spiritual aspect of self, thinking that was the be-all and end-all, to the conscious aspect of self. Conscious awareness, conscious knowing. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. And I was thinking about this question today. Would you live your life again? Knowing all what you've been through. Would you live that again if you given the choice? I wouldn't. Because I've been there, done that, and if I become aware, then I shouldn't have to do it again. Especially when you face, as I have done and continue to do, face your own demons and your own shadows, your own darkness. You shouldn't want to or need to live it again. So why would you? Why would you? But because you don't do that, then when you do pass, the spirit goes to the spirit world, through that door, that door they talk about, it's just like going through a door, and here it is, it's just like the next room, because it's exactly the same as here. Your spiritual self doesn't change just because you've gone through that door and passed away. It's there with those that have gone before you. Exactly the same mentality and awareness that you had before you passed. Exactly the same dependency on all that which is outside of you. There's nothing wonderful about being spiritually aware and awake. Nothing at all, unless it leads you to the true self, the higher consciousness within, the Lucifer, the divine feminine that creates. Not the masculine that puts a fuck into creation. Cast an article to predator mind. The divine feminine that creates. I still see lots of people, and I understand it, not ready to accept that yet, but this universe and the original way it came into being was born out of a singular energy, and it was feminine. Feminine. And ever since that masculine, which Castaneda called the predator mind, see that and put the proverbial fuck into it, we've been in duality ever since. You know, fighting against ourselves, fighting against each other, and fighting against anything. Because we're not strong enough to fight the only enemy that really matters, the self. And come to awareness of the self. But isn't that nice of them, for all these people outside of you, be it government, truthers, sports stars, movie stars, psychics, mediums, this and that, isn't it nice of them to offer you something? You just cross my palm with silver, pay your taxes, pay your tithes. Oh, you know, everybody's, you know, my time is worth money, you know. And I'll repeat again and again, I don't care who I fucking offend. Even in this day and age, you challenge any psychic, any medium or whatever, or any truther, even in this day and age, to tell you where they could earn whatever they're charging you an hour in the business world. You know, what skills have they got that merits them out in the workplace earning whatever it is an hour, 35, 40, 50, 60, etc., etc., goes up and up and up and up. You know, what skills have they got where they could merit earning that out in the workplace? Even in this twisted fucking reality that we live in. But isn't it nice of them to offer you something? Whether it be your governments, whether it be doctors, nurses, anything like that. Isn't it nice of anybody to offer you something? Hope. Absolution. Anything. Oh, we built some roads for you. You know, but you'll have to pay this, you'll have to pay that, whatever. Isn't that nice of them? Or we're going to have a war, but don't worry, there's bunkers. Isn't that nice of them? We're going to do this, we're going to do that. But, you know, there's this. Isn't that nice of them? It's not just your governments that do it, people. It's not just your Bill Gates and your Klaus Schwabs that do it, or your Rockefellers, your Rothschilds, your Payshers, you know, and all those others. We all do it against each other. Human beings do it against each other, trying to get one over on each other, because that's what human beings do, and make out of another. That's AI, people. That is AI. That's artificial intelligence. That's what humans are. They're artificial intelligence. Artificially made, genetically modified from man and mankind. And so you see this about AI coming in now. You are the AI. You as human beings, black, white, yellow, red, gay, straight. You who hate against each other and trying to get one over on another. You are the artificial intelligence that perpetuates this system, this false matrix that we live in, because you've been fucked over. And you continue to be fucked over, and you continue to fuck others over. That's what humans do. Mankind doesn't do that. Mankind lives in balance and harmony with each other and with nature. Typified by the Lakota and other nomadic peoples the Nez Perce and the Cheyenne, the Seti, they would travel round with the seasons, taking what the earth offered, only enough for their needs, and leaving for the next man or woman to come along, or the animals, this, that, and the other. They only took what they needed. We rip into the earth and, continue to harvest everything we can from the earth, and then 9 times out of 10, we chuck it back. Well, the food's gone off in the fridge. Yeah, bloody right to go off in the fridge. Because you don't own the food anymore. You don't own the abundance of the earth. That has been commercialised and owned by BlackRock, State Street and Vanguard, this, that, and the other, to profit off you. Another way to profit off you. Isn't that nice of them? Genetically modified the foods so they don't last long, so you keep going back sooner and sooner because you've had to chuck it out. And, it is true when somebody says to you, especially if you're my age, to look at the foods in your supermarkets today. Half of them didn't exist when I was young. They didn't. How many of you, because of the convenience of the supermarkets, and isn't that nice of them, to peel your veg for you, all you've got, it's all in a bag, chopped, whatever, peeled and chopped, prepared, all you got to do is stick it in the oven or stick it in a saucepan. Half of these youngsters today wouldn't know what a Swede or something looked like in its natural form. I always remember Shelley telling me about her daughter in a recent job. They had a garden there where they grew produce, this, that, and the other, in their spare time. And when the job was closing down, being sold off, this, that, and the other, Shelley's daughter went out and harvested the produce from the garden and was sharing it out amongst the staff. Offered some onions to one woman, and she recoiled in horror and she said, "Oh, they're dirty." Well, they will be. They're just coming out of the garden, you daft girl. But this woman wasn't a young woman. Neither. She was in her 40s or whatever. She hadn't seen an onion in its natural state. What have you seen in its natural state? But those supermarkets, isn't it nice of them? When was the last time, never mind growing your own food or whatever, when was the last time you actually went out in the countryside amongst nature? And see this genetically modified food being grown. You see, think of, in terms of your own country, and I speak from the United Kingdom. Oh dear. I speak from the United Kingdom. Think of the jobs that used to be here that are no longer here. Right? Steelworks, mining, this, that, and the other. And think of all those jobs. And now the next job is the farmers. You can bet your life that in the same way that Bill Gates is the biggest farm owner in the United States, so we're led to believe, you can bet your life that BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, or one of their agents, because that's all Bill Gates is, one of their agents, one of their spokespersons, he's just a face. Like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and this, that, and the other. But you can bet your life State Street, Vanguard or BlackRock will own all the farmland in Britain. Somebody may be the face, like Bill Gates is in the States, but In the great scheme of things, he's not that important because they'd replace him. But, you know, farmers have been taking set-aside money and this, that, and the other. And, you know, I'm not mocking them, this, that, and the other. I'm just telling you the truth. And now it's your turn. They come for the disabled. They come for the socialists. They come for this, that, and the other. And now it's your turn. I will never forget that, people. Never, ever forget David Cameron and Ian Duncan Smith when they started to attack the disabled people. And how many people in this country, you know, cheered them on. It'll come to you. You reap what you sow, and you'll continue to reap what you sow. As long if you're hating another portion of human beings like you're supposed to, because you have no understanding of what it is to be man and kind, then eventually it come to you, just like it's coming to the farmers now. And why is it coming to them? Because they never stood with us, where possibly when we stood up against the vaccines, they never stood with us, etc., etc., etc. We never stand together. Humans don't stand together. Mankind does. Mankind does. Those Lakota, Cheyenne, Nez Perce, this, that, and the other. They might have had their arguments, and, you know, the tribe might have split, this, that, and the other. But at least once a year, they come together. Especially the Lakota for the Sundance and whatever, for a month or so in August. And they would share and dance and whatever. They come together at least once in the year. When do human beings come together? As a whole. As a whole. When do human beings come together as a whole? The shit has hit the fan so much since the events of 2001. Since 9/11. Never mind before that, although we should consider it. But let's just start from there. What happened from there? Think about everything that happened from there. Think about these last 3 years or so. Because we never stood together against our oppressors. People died on their own with no loved ones near. Passed away. This, that, and the other. You know, this Tuesday, just gone, I was asked to take some people to a funeral. I was asked a couple of weeks back. And it was this Tuesday. So I drove 4 people there. 4 people to this funeral. It was at 9 o'clock, so, you know, it was one of these funerals. The bloke didn't have any relatives, but he had a good friend who'd done most of the paperwork. He was in the car. And when we got to Hawkins Crematorium, which is quite nice, by the way, I'd never been there before. Quite nice, and especially the superintendent. I never expected this, but he said the coffin is in situ in the chapel. He said, you know, when at 9 o'clock, he said, I'll start playing the first piece of music. And then you can come in. He said, then after that music, there'll be an opportunity, should any of you wish to do so, speak, you know, over the coffin. Then there'll be the next song. The first song was Space Cowboy, and then the third and final song was Firestarter. Brilliant, I thought that was funny. But anyway, the lad who sort of done all the paperwork this Saturday, he was a neighbour of this bloke, said, no, nobody will speak. You know, it's, just wanted to come and say goodbye. And when the superintendent went, I said, I can't stand here. And I didn't know the bloke in any way, shape or form. And yeah, I know, let the dead bury the dead, but these people here had come, and I couldn't stand there and in all good conscience and not say some words to honour the life this person had lent and what he meant to those just 4 people and me that were there to say goodbye to him. So that's what I've done. I said some words over this person I didn't know. But the words come from my heart. And I had some tears going then. You know, I'm not bigging myself up here in any way, shape or form. But, you know, we should all do that. And we should do it while they're alive. Or while they're here. Honour the path, the footsteps of another. We don't do that enough, people. We don't do that enough. And yeah, I will judge another if I feel their words, deeds and actions are causing harm, loss or injury to another, or they're deceiving another. Oh, I fucking stand up about that, you know. But walk a mile in my shoes and all those other things spring to mind. But that was nice of those people, those 4 people Tuesday, to go and honour the life of a neighbour, and to pay their respects. That was nice. That was nice. And so I felt really empowered by that. I was happy to drive them over because their intention was pure and honourable, and so happy to do that. Otherwise, it just, this fella's coughing would have just gone there and straight in the oven, as it were. Which, you know, doesn't have any impact upon what happens to the spiritual aspect of that incarnation or the soul. However, it was nice to be able to, I couldn't stand there in good conscience and let it go without some words being spoken over him, and they all appreciated it. But wasn't it nice of them to go and honour this person? There's only 4 of them there, no family, They tried to find family, but no. How many others go like that, people? How many others are in bus stops and shop doorways? You know, your governments will find the money for war, and you vote them in. I don't. You vote them in. They'll find the money for war, you know, but they haven't got our particular government, Keir Starmer, good friend of Jimmy Savile and whatever. He won't find the money to help pensioners pay their fuel bill, but he'll find the money to house immigrants, and I've nothing against the immigrants, not at all, you know, but he'll find the money for this, that and the other, just the same as all those who've gone before him, and all they're doing is following the orders of their masters, the bankers of this world that actually print the money and own the money. When you wake up to that and see it for what it is, you might stop using their money. You might stop using money in any way, shape or form, and just barter and share with people, as Michael Tellinger is trying to get you to do with the One Small Town initiative, the Ubuntu initiative. He's worth listening to, people. He's worth listening to about that. But people are doing that. You see people doing that. You know, wild minds I've been following on Facebook and whatever, and people like that put the knowledge out there, share the knowledge, because it's the right thing to do and they do it for the right reasons. I love people like that, and that's nice of them. That's nice of them. They're the people that you should be focusing on. The people that share knowledge to empower, enlighten, and enable you to simply live on this earth instead of perpetually living on it. By their deeds ye will know them. I don't care who you are. And you might think, that, you're doing what you do with all good intention, but you need money, this, that, and the other. And because, especially in regards to mediums and psychics, this, that, and the other, they're guides, they're helpers. If they ain't telling them how to live and giving them the knowledge to empower, enlighten, and enable others how to live while you're here, then test the spirits to see if they are of good. And I will do, and I'll continue to do so. Continue to do so. Because I get angry, very angry. It's a sacred anger. Sacred anger. Again, go to Mark Passio and listen to him talk about sacred anger. But everything I am, everything I stand for, everything I'm aware of, everything I resonate with is universal law, L-O-R-E, natural law, L-O-R-E, and in this physical reality, common law. Where every man and woman have the right to build a home, to live on the land, this, that, and the other. I've done an upload years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Do you need permission for that? Your governments take your rights away from you. That's what they do. Best, you look at the Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights. All those rights that are in there, they've now taken them from you and sold them back to you. Right? Governments are doing that because the people that own the world, the bankers, those that own the money and print the money, you use their money in order that you can earn a living so you can pay them. We're the only species on the planet that pay to live on a planet, humans, Homo sapiens sapiens. All the other species on this planet don't pay to live on it. They might do with their lives, but in terms of money, they don't pay to live on it. So who are we paying it to? I've done this, a little meme the other day in my Facebook group, posed that question, and then I answered it and said, probably Uranus, because you just as well be. Right, you just as well be. Only species that has to pay to live on the planet. Who are we paying it to? Probably Uranus. But isn't that nice of them to prepare you, for something that they have total control over anyway? But they're going to do it, whether it be war, or, viruses and all this other shit. They can sort climate change out, but you'll have to pay a carbon tax and fuck knows what else. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to stop pleading with them, appealing to them, begging them, using their money? When are you going to stop all that and bring the bastards down? When are you going to fight them like William Wallace tried to, and Michael Collins, and Nelson Mandela, and Gandhi, and this, that, and so many others throughout history. Those people that were found post-Columbus, they fought and lost because us as white Europeans and our ancestors went out at the behest of our masters to conquer these lands and their resources. And we still do it. We continue to do it because we're not satisfied with what we've got. We're never satisfied with what the earth provides. We always want more because the television tells us we want more, need more. There's more to be. And those 7 deadly sins, they drive us, they control us. And those that rule you know this, and they laugh at you. They laugh at you. Evolved from monkeys, we're told. I don't think so. I don't think so. If we're evolved from monkeys, how come the monkeys and the apes aren't paying to live on the planet? Who is the imbecile? Who is the imbecile? Us, human beings, Homo sapiens sapiens, or all those other species? All those other species. Who's the imbecile? Them other species, especially the animal kingdom, might fight against each other, this, that, and the other, to hold dominance in a group or a troop or whatever. But life for them goes on day after day. And they just take what they need. Might have the odd fight, this, that, and the other, but basically they just take what they need. And then they laze about all day. Swim about, fly about, this, that, and the other. And enjoy the beauty and the abundance of the earth. We don't do that. Mankind does it, humans do not. Humans do not. Because our masters, our controllers, our television, our media, this, that, and the other, are always offering us more, saying there's more to be had. And we fall for it every time. Greater choice of foods. It is, when you think about it, people. When you think about it, it is a mystery to me. I've woke up to that. Perhaps you haven't yet. Perhaps you still lust after the objects of desires, this, that, and the other. The only thing I desire is peace. Inner peace. And a peace outside of me that everybody can enjoy and experience. And we will never know that, all the while we allow others to hold sway, dominance and control over us. Never. History shows you that. His story shows you that. And then, every now and again, they completely and utterly change all that has gone before us, reprogram us to take us forward in another direction. Isn't that nice of them? Isn't that nice of them? If this message resonates, share the message. Don't share me, share the message. For those of you that go to these spiritualist churches, this, that, and that, stand up and question question the medium, this, that and the other. Question the truther, question the psychic. If they're not teaching you, because it's the right, or sharing the knowledge to empower, enlighten, and enable you to teach yourself and learn what it is to simply live and to become aware, then challenge them, because I am going to spend the rest of my days doing that. They deny the truth more times than Judas ever did. And I'm a bit like my mate Bert. They used to call him Doubting Thomas because he questioned everything. And I do as well. I do. I don't accept anything. I have to come to my own awareness about that which I'm being told is right, true and just. And I've got rid of some shit by doing that. And sin through some shit by doing that. And I'll continue to do that. And I ask you to join me on that journey with realise the real lies. Isn't that nice of them to prepare us for something that doesn't need to happen in the first place? Palamia, thank you. In Lakesh, in you I see an enemy. Mitakwe Oyasin, we are all related, we are all relatives. I tell you, we're all connected. If the message resonates, share the message. Look in the description box below. Lots of information in there and all my contact details. Happy to talk to anybody. Happy to talk to anybody. I avail myself to people. And a lot of people have, spoken to me because they like the message that I share here. It's the message that's important, not me, the messenger. Remember that. Especially when you're listening to others. Don't put them on fucking pedestals. You're just out of the frying pan into the fire. Share the message. Palamia.